Well, hello, my pickles, my turtles, and my snowflakes, and my no matter what club members. My name is Sarah, Pearls of Wisdom and Food, and I may joke around and act silly at times, but I take my keto very, very seriously. I don't play with it. I don't come into keto with my Weight Watchers head that I used to have, where I've got 12 points left. I'm going to go spend them. No, that's not how it works. I listened to some great videos during my overnight. A couple of them are woefully not even close to keto. In fact, they do a lot of mukbanging, like overeating food in front of us. Oh my, the comments alone are just worth the price of admission. You never have to be bored with YouTube, that's for sure. But I did listen to High Intensity Health with John Lemansky and Mike Mutzel. I think that's how you say his last name. And it was a great video. Lots of great tips, some biohacking, but how to do the keto, what really matters. Very, very, very insightful. So it's High Intensity Health, and it's the interview with John Lemansky, MD, and it's been posted like late August. It went up. I also listened to, Scott the truck driver, um, almost going privatizing his channel, so you have to pay to watch his content. Um, a couple of other people, and it was a very good overnight. I was able to get smarter. I think I got a little smarter from watching overnight. So, when you get bored and restless, what comes into your head? Do you say, well, just stop, just stop? I got to put together, some quality food menus coming up. I've got to clean out that drawer. I make my goals very small so that when I achieve them, it's like, yes, I put in 5 days worth of food all by myself. Or I cleaned out that drawer that doesn't even have a name. To call it a junk drawer is really giving it more credit than it deserves, or something like that. Just making my little goals work for me. When I come home from work, like I just did now, um, I put away my things. I'm doing 5 overnights in a row. So I put away all my things and then prepped for tonight when I get up at 11 o'clock at night to go into work at midnight. And tonight is keto pizza. So I began to prep for that, the dough, and shredding some of the cheese. I still have to shred some of it, but I did get some of it ready. And so that's how I am rolling, Jim. um, Today so far, I vacuumed, I washed the kitchen floor, just some things that make me feel like I'm ready to go load of laundry. Now I'm going to bathe. And I just do some things. When I do get bored, I figure, well, continuing education always works for me. And when I when I think that I'm bored, I'll watch a video that's a scientist or a doctor or an engineer like Dave Feldman or Ivor Cummins that's just gonna educate me a little. And I'll do that when I go into my little tubby with my Dr. Teal's salts. I'll listen to probably one of the scientists talk, because then I can just kind of close my eyes and hear them. Sometimes it takes more than one listening to absorb what they're saying. But I just have so much respect for the people that are totally immersed in our keto program, and are not playing. They're teaching us. They're consistent. They are a power of example to watch, to listen to see how they do it. It's not always like how I am. Like Tammy has her live on Tuesday, her weigh-in on Sunday, her what I eat in a week Wednesday. She has her nice little shows, and I love her what I eat. We do things a little bit differently, but I do love that she's able to somehow produce her video. I I haven't gotten to that place where I could take a picture and actually insert it. I'm woefully inept. But she does that, and I like that. And she's got a lot of consistency in her life too. And I so appreciate that. Somebody that I was watching has lost a lot of weight through keto, and they were having a fashion funeral, which I thought was just adorable because it's like all these things that no longer fit. And so she's going to get rid of them. And I think that's really good. I know that I held on to a lot of the things that I spent a lot of money on, mostly office wear. And I'll never wear them again, but I just can't give them up yet. When you spend, something, something, something for like an office blazer or blouse or pair of trousers or something. I just can't give them up, but I also can't even imagine going to work in an office and getting dressed in those things anymore. So I've gotten so casual, I really like it. So I've got my kind of dressy things for weddings and or funerals, and it goes like that. So my Samsung phone has been saying update, ready to install, and I've been putting it off, so I'm doing that now. So yeah, as far as my keto goes, I'm very, very grateful that I like being adapted to it. I like the idea that, I'm saying this again, I know if you've listened to me, you hear me say this. I'm not whining about what I don't have. I'm very grateful and appreciative for what I do have. Food-wise, assets-wise, thing-wise, Greg, the kitties, the kids, the grandchildren. I'm very grateful for what I do have, and I don't take anything for granted anymore. There's just too many very odd things that happen out there. And so I do appreciate it. And I know that my ground zero for serenity and sanity and calmness is my food in order in my tracker. It just is. It's just always been that way. And as I've been saying recently, it's food in order. And I know what and I watched a Ken Berry and Dr. Leminski. They must have been on the low carb cruise, but they had a little Q&A, and they were quite charming. But when Mike in the High Intensity Health, Mike and Dr. Leminski were talking, they used in reference to the food plan and how to take care of yourself on keto and what you have to do, to following Dave Ramsey. And so you arrive at keto, you're at the highest weight you've ever been, you're self-loathing, you're disgusted with yourself, you can't believe it, let it get to this. You maybe even have a food funeral to get rid of all the crap in the house instead of throwing it in that green trash bag into the dumpster. But, you do whatever you have to do to get to your ground zero of beginning your keto. Of course, I would suggest weighing, measuring, tracking, because obviously if you let yourself go, you weren't doing something, or you did do something and then you slowly gave it up, and then suddenly you're just in the field of like, nothing counts, everything's fine, and you turn into that food disaster. So, if you are re-entering keto, it's like being broke. And one of them equated it to Dave Ramsey, the financial man that has tons and tons of radio shows. And, so you don't enter into a food diet, money diet, so to speak, and think that in 30 days, your debt will be paid down, your past due bills will be addressed, all of that sort of stuff. So money and food have a lot in common as far as like when we get into that ignoring, naive, denial, that place where it's like where we used to be so maybe strict or paying attention to our food, we just get looser and looser and looser, and 12 pounds appears, right? Same thing with the money. We have our credit card that we're just going to use just for this emergency or something like that. And lo and behold, it ends up maxed out at $5,000. And it's like, how did we get here? One transaction at a time. How do you get to gaining your weight back? One food choice item at a time. And so the thing that I like about weighing and measuring for me as a recovering food addict in maintenance is that I'm all in. And so I know where my leakage and slippage could happen if I stopped paying attention. Um, I've seen what happens to people when they eat intuitively, and I don't have intuitive, okay? I don't have intuitively with my food anywhere around me. I need to know what I'm having. And like tonight, I make the incredible keto pizza, which comes from the Eat Rich, Live Long book from Ivor Cummings and Dr. Jeffrey Gerber. And so I use my smallest Fiesta plate, the bread and butter plate, for my pizza. And I have 4 slices on it, and then I have 4 slices on it. And a slice is smaller than this, okay? So it's like this size, okay? So it's bigger than your baby Post-it, but it's not as big as this. So I have 4 slices, and then I have 4 slices. And Greg likes the insides, and I like the outside with the crust. And I know we're just whacked, but we work we weave together quite well. And so that's it. I have 8 pieces, and it works for me. And that goes into my, first it went into my recipe builder in my chronometer, and now, you know, I figured it is 1/3 of that pizza. It's a double batch, so it's kind of high in calories, and it's kind of high in the total carbs for the day. And I don't do the net, but if I did the net, I'd be in my range. But I don't do net. But it's my treat. So I have those four small pizzas twice on my little plate, and it just works for me. And it's, you know, I like the boundaries, the borders, the parameters of my food program. When, say it's my pork chop night, I count it as 5 ounces of the pork chop. The pork chops, I don't think you can get, maybe boneless you can, but I like the bone, excuse me. And so the pork chop usually weighs, you know, about 8 ounces. So I just cut a little strip of it off in the center part and give it to Greg. So I know I'm having 5. If it looks like 6, then I put in the extra ounce in my chronometer. You know, once I cut, it's like that, you know, that's done. So if it's a 6 ounces of pork, I'll add that ounce to it. You know, I have the same big bowl of leafy greens, and the most of one lettuce that goes in is the one that's closer to the expiration date. So I keep my chronometer next to me on my little smartphone, and I just adjust. I adjust the watercress. I adjust the baby butter romaine. I adjust the arugula. And then, you know, so I've got that. And I know I'm going to have my 4 tablespoons of 2 EVU and 2 macadamia nut oil on that. And so far, so good. It works. I don't have my big bowl of green leafies on the weekends. So by the time I get to Monday, I'm looking forward to it again. By the time I get to Friday, I'm looking forward to the incredible keto pizza on Saturday, and the big green egg steak and roasted veggies that we do in the Lodge cast iron containers with coconut oil on Sunday. And then those veggies, the asparagus, Brussels sprouts, and cauliflower crumbles, they kind of last the week for Greg because I'm just having the green leafies. And then when I go to make my leftover stew, which I did with a pork chop this week instead of the burger. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Then I have my leftover stew, and I have it Friday. And then Greg has leftovers. Clean out the fridge. It's great. He has everything that's left over, and I have my stew, and then my leftover stew, and then my bowl of green leafies. And then on Monday, we both have a bowl of leftover stew. Me with the green leafies and Greg with the plate of veggies, and then the other assorted non-keto items. So it just all works. I ask him, I go to Market Basket, the big grocery store, after my shift overnight at 8 a.m. Friday morning. I say to him the night before, Thursday night, tired of anything that you want me to take out of or add into the rotation? And he said, yes, pork chops. That's hence he didn't eat his pork chop the other night, so that's why I made the stew out of it. So he's maxed out on pork chops. That's okay. And so he's going to have something else. He likes those pinwheels where it's the beef and the provolone and the spinach, and they tie it up with rope. He likes that, so he'll get that, and I'll make my own pork chop. So it just works for us. So that's how I do my keto, and it's all good. Whoops.